Am I being a fool? I bought some Bitcoin. Let me start off by saying I invest all my savings into VOO. Everything in my IRA and my brokerage accounts are in VOO and a little VTI. Bitcoin has been on my radar for years, but I never bought any. It hurt to see it rocket up to 60K. Then it crashed, and that was somewhat relieving. Now it's headed back up again. I scheduled a small reoccurring Bitcoin purchase though Cash App. It's less than 10 of what I put aside each month. Am I being foolish? Can Bitcoin be a part of a sound investment strategy? Edit. I appreciate the attention this post has gotten and all the great responses. I am going to continue allocating about 10 of my monthly savings to Bitcoin. I'm going to look into getting off Cash App. Thanks for the input. True story. A fellow college student tried to talk me into buying Bitcoin in 2011 for like $3. My response, of course, was, "You want me to pay real money for imaginary money? No thanks." Sometimes I wonder where that guy is now. Damn, the sentiment sure has changed around here, lol. If it's a small of your portfolio, I don't see a problem with having some Bitcoin. Crypto as an investment is a highly volatile and unpredictable asset. There are lots of people on both sides of it, and as long as you're okay with the capital you put in losing value and possibly never recovering, then you absolutely can invest in it for the upside. I'm of the opinion that asset class diversification is a good thing if you know the risks. Since different assets behave differently in the same market conditions, it changes the risk profile of your portfolio though, so if you have to understand the risks. I started buying daily a couple years ago. About 75-25 in ETH BTC. It's about 5 of all my investment money that goes into crypto. My reasoning: building wealth in the stock market is a pretty easy and risk-averse strategy. Staying with VOO VTI. Crypto could go much faster. But what if it all goes to zero or you accidentally lose your crypto? If I lose all crypto, I'll be fine and it won't change my life. If crypto does multiples like 50x or more, it will be a nice icing on the cake. Me and a friend mined Bitcoin before it was popular. Got many blocks and had thousands of Bitcoin. Sold it all for $300 to finance a weekend out. We tried mining again after it became popular and never got a single block. I'm 10 in crypto. 90 of that is Bitcoin. I think a DCA approach is probably a good one. We just had a big run up. So it could correct, but it could run more before coming down 50. If you DCA, you hedge yourself for either outcome. Only time will tell. It might go up or it could become worthless. Remind me 2 years. No one knows what it's going to do in the future. You're gambling. Decide if you're okay with that. Remind me 2 years. Anyone not allocating some part of their capital to BTC right now is the fool. It's the best performing asset of the last decade. There's still plenty of room for growth to reach the market cap of gold alone. It has to go 18x. And this train is not slowing down. Borders can't stop it. More countries and hedge funds are jumping on board. And the halving is around the corner. It's still an incredible asymmetrical opportunity. And the naysayers will lament a few years from now. Just be reasonable and balanced in your capital allocation, so you can stomach the volatility. I'm an IT director, and some of the smartest people I've ever met are at least a little into Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it'd be crazy to not put some amount of money into Bitcoin. If you have money that you're okay never seeing again, I think it's worth some risk. Still kicking myself because I knew about Bitcoin when it was worth practically nothing. But I didn't bother to put so much as a dime into it until it was mainstream. Not making that mistake again. No, you're not a fool. Pro tip: don't ever listen to the clowns here saying you shouldn't buy BTC. They've been saying it for years and have been absolutely wrecked. There's a lot of saltiness from people who missed out on life-changing gains. It's fine to take risks in your portfolio. Remember, this is a risk though, and you could lose all of it. It could also be your greatest investment. I can't see the future. Things could continue pick up in a good way when the SEC makes a decision on big player spot ETFs. In January or February, I believe. Could be a pump to ride into it and trim out if goes well. I have my wealth front set to 5 ETH and 5 BTC. I really like the volatility matched with the automatic rebalancing. It frequently buys more when these crypto are down and sells when they go up. Over the last few years, I'm up at the moment despite entering those initially at a pretty high cost basis. Crypto is less than 10 of my portfolio, since Wealthfront is maybe half of my taxable portfolio. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only crypto coins I would actually recommend to people who are interested in investing in the crypto market. As for your post, I would say it's a good decision, but whether it was the correct one, we will have to wait and see. Everyone thought it would be the end of crypto when Bitcoin fell to like 12K from 60K. You know, people sit on the sidelines as others buy some hot commodity like Bitcoin. Then after it makes a few people wealthy, they say I could have done that, and decide they'd rather not sit on the sidelines this time. Except you can't go back in time and get the 2011 Bitcoin price. Are you really buying Bitcoin because you think it's the best place for your investment dollars? Or is it because you have a fear of missing out? Bitcoin made people a lot of money the past decade. However, in another 10 years, it's far more likely you'll be looking at something else and wishing you had bought that. What are the odds it'd be Bitcoin again? I'm 20 BTC and it's my best performing asset by far. I wish I had balls and bow more back then. I manage 9 figures of client assets. Bitcoin needs to be at least 325 of your portfolio. Depending on your age, the risk reward is such that the upside of Bitcoin maxis being right clearly outweighs the downside of losing 100 of your 10 allocation. Buy BTC and don't look back. I was thinking to invest in Bitcoin on Binance, but I don't know how I can then withdraw money back to my bank after, and what about taxes? I am from Europe. No good job, there's too much infrastructure being set up for Bitcoin to be successful. The world markets will run on Bitcoin one day. God, crypto is stupid. Speculating on an uncorrelated asset is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it can actually improve a portfolio's Sharpe. But 10 is way too much. 1 would be a more appropriate allocation size given crypto volatility. Generally speaking, everyone says it's a riskiest investment. On the other hand, many made a lot of money. I decided to get into it 3 years ago. Even invested in altcoins ETH, Link, and DOT. And put some tokens to earn passively on Lido and Daffy. I hope it will turn out as a smart approach, but I didn't invest more than I can afford to lose. Not foolish. Bitcoin is the sole crypto to put real money into. It represents the separation of state and money, and because it's growing in popularity as a store of wealth. Fun fact: 75% of all Bitcoin held has not moved in the past 3 years, and the network it runs on has grown in strength 5x since then. If you like books, check out the Bitcoin Standard. I just DCA $20 a day as a recurring investment just to have something in there. I treat Bitcoin and Ethereum like gold and silver. I just put money in there as a short-term cash store. It carries more risk than gold and silver, but in exchange, it carries more reward. Side note: I've used Bitcoin to purchase gold and silver from AppMex. BTC is the first thing of its kind. It is a decently digital, scarce commodity. The only wrong allocation percentage is 0.